Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, the channel host and admin, and today we're talking about all the latest Everton news. So, of course, without further ado, let's go into it and talk about what's been happening with Everton lately. Um, First and foremost, Ashley Young has signed on a one-year deal. It is believed there is an option for a second year, which would take him near to his 40th birthday. I want to know what people make of this, really. Ashley Young, he's been at Aston Villa. I personally thought he'd retired long ago, but I realised he'd been playing for Aston Villa for 2 seasons, and he was a good player apparently for Aston Villa. He made over 20 appearances last season for a Villa side that was very underwhelming for large spells. And then when the excellent Unai Emery became manager, they transformed, the league position and ended up, and I think it's the Europa Conference League. Excuse me. And so Ashley Young played a big part in that and has clearly got a lot of ability. I think if you're looking at him as an individual, you've got technical quality, leadership quality. He was a captain of Man United. And he's got a lot to offer Everton, even at 38, I think. Now, on the other hand, you could argue, what is Kevin Thelwell doing here? Why are we not bringing any younger players through? Why are we not scouting? Why are we always looking no further than the end of our nose, really? And for me, that is a frustrating thing. I want to see a director of football actually go and find the next up-and-coming players, and also, scout these players and bring them in earlier. But Ashley Young, at 38, there's nothing young about him, but I think he'll bring some leadership quality, so technical quality, and I think also importantly some tactical quality. And I think we often lack that on the pitch. And I think he'll understand what's needed in certain scenarios to get you through a game or to make us be better. So I think overall it's not a bad position and bad addition. Obviously, he covers at left back and at right back and could probably still do a job on the wing. Listen, I've not seen a lot of him last season, so if you've seen him, please put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. But can he keep up with those quick defenders, even at 38 years of age? Quick attackers, I should say. That is something I am I am worried about. I'll be honest with you. Can a 38-year-old left back with right foot cope with fast right-footed right wingers running at him? I don't know. I hope there's a bigger plan here and that he isn't going to be relied upon week in, week out, and that we have got, eggs in various baskets and we'll bring some more players in. Just very quickly to the comments. Hi, Emma. Good afternoon. Emma Davies. Appreciate that. Sorry about your broken wrist. I hope you feel better soon. Emma Jones. Hi. Chris Litch is also there, and Nikki and Peter, and I'm sure there'll be around 1,000 people watching back. So if you're new here, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on. If you're already subscribed, and make sure you smash that like button for me right now, and let's get this up in the YouTube algorithm. So that's my thoughts on Ashley Young. Feel free to come back to that. Kelly saying we aren't in a great place as a club, so we are papering over cracks, and Ashley Young is a professional and gives every drop of sweat. Thank you, Kelly. How low are our expectations now at the club that we are accepting these sorts of signings as the norm? I personally think that we have gone full circle as a club, and we're now heading back to like when we would sign players, like Paul Gascoigne and all these sorts of players on the way out. And, we should be more progressive as a club, but I think that's a whole different argument. Peter saying Ashley Young could be good or bad, but he's only likely to last 1 or 2 years. And I'm not sure that's what we should be signing, given he's probably on big wages. I think he's on around 50k a week. But yeah, 1 or 2 seasons, I think there is an option for a second year. Mark saying Young is a risk, but obviously we can't afford better. Brian is also saying we are an OAP team. Very funny. So yeah, Ashley Young will bring some tactical, technical, and leadership qualities, but at 38 years of age, can he still cut it? Likely as a fullback next season. For me, it's an interesting one here also because we've got Nathan Patterson, James Garner, and Seamus Coleman who can play right back, but only Vitaly Mykolenko at left back. And then if you put an Ashley Young at left back ahead of Mykolenko, what does that say about Mykolenko? And, he's a right-footed left back. It's not really ideal, really, especially for a team that doesn't really take control of the ball and is proactive in possession. We're quite reactive and defensive. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. We can come back to that as well. Also, want to talk about Everton. They're in talks for Man United winger Anthony Elanga. Played 26 appearances last season for United and didn't score a single goal. So he will fit in very well here at Everton because we don't score goals. But what I am reliably told is that Anthony Elanga has got a lot of ability, and his pathway is blocked by Man United's demand for superstars, more glamorous players. And he's done quite well for Sweden. He's only 21 years of age, can play left, right, or through the middle. So I think, Anthony Elanga probably is more in keeping with the sort of players we should be getting. Look, I absolutely want players who are guaranteed to come in and score. We need a winger to chip in with 10 goals next season, and we need a striker who's going to score 15 to 20. Now, whether Anthony Elanga is going to hit double figures and come in and hit the ground running, I'm not so sure. And whether we can even get him is another question here, because Nottingham Forest are also in the race. Of course, they're in the race. They're in every bloody race. They're probably in the Grand National and not even a horse. But Nottingham Forest are trying to convince Anthony Elanga to go there. But I think Everton and Man United have got a strong relationship, and hopefully that they'll look after us in this situation and, allow us to have Anthony Elanga over Forest if the deals, are fairly similar. Money talks, I suppose. It's a load of nonsense. But I think they'll make it, it'll be amicable, whatever we can do with them. I'd like to see a loan with a buy obligation if he meets certain criteria. That would be one thing I'd probably try and ask for first and foremost. We'll take him on loan. And if he, makes more than, say, 20 appearances for us, we'll buy him. But anything that can help defer payments until we're at Bramley Moor, because I think then once we're in the new stadium, I think we will have some money to spend. And I think commercially, it'll be a completely different ball game. We'll be profitable and we can, we'll have a little bit more disposable income. So Anthony Elanga, there you go, 21-year-old Sweden international winger, can also play up front. No goals last season for Man U, but we did try and get him on loan in January. They blocked the move at the last minute, but we're now in talks with them again. Now, hopefully United won't be too obstructive, as I say, because of the good relationship, but Everton kind of look like they're repeating some of the same cycles and the same targets. And for me, this is deeply concerning that we're not very imaginative with our moves. And one player, again, we link with furthermore is Arnaut Danjuma, who went to Tottenham, pied us off at the last minute after already doing his media at Everton. And his agent called him and said, no, you're going to Spurs. So he ratted us out, so to speak, and got a lot of abuse for it, and then was the flop of the century at Tottenham. I think he only scored 1 goal in the league, barely got on the pitch. So now we're looking at getting Danjuma from Villarreal, probably on loan. I think he's only got a year left, but they take a loan with a fee. Apparently, I don't see what the point is that. Why would you need to do that? You could just do a permanent deal, but maybe that's just to, because of the contract sort of thing. But beggars can't be choosers at this stage. Yes, I think the guy's a knob, I'll be honest with you. And I think he's got clearly an attitude problem and some loyalty issues there. But in the position we're in, where your only options are Alex Iwobi, who can't cross a ball and only scores 1 or 2 goals a season. Dwight McNeil, who's for me excellent and is probably our most important player at times. And then the other option is Demarai Gray, who completely flatters to deceive. When do you see Demarai Gray beat a fullback and whip it in and someone score? It very rarely happens. He just scores the odd screamer. So, Demarai Gray flatters to deceive. And I think if we can get someone in who's going to provide a little bit more quality and impetus and more direct and actually be more productive as a winger, then you can't complain. The options we've got at the moment are poor. And you can argue the options we're looking at signing are pretty much, they're not going to inspire you too much, but I think we have to get the bodies in. Otherwise, we're going to really struggle. 3 wide players, 1 left back now. You could say 2 with Young. But the only options up front are Tom Cannon, Neil Mopay, and Calvert-Lewin. I suspect Calvert-Lewin will get injured fairly quickly, and then we'll have the same issues that we had last season. So it would be good to have someone like Danjuma who can play on the left or right, but also up front. And I think that makes perfect sense in terms of the profile. Um, I'll come back to transfers. Also, I need to talk about Dele Ali's interview. I mean, this was very deep stuff, but I think it was quite clear there was definitely something going on with him as to why he'd fallen off a cliff, quite literally. And it's mental health problems, trauma as a child. And I think he's done very well to come out and actually talk about it. And I think he was pushed a little bit as well, because the press were onto the fact that he'd gone to rehab in America for a sleeping pill addiction. So I think he was pushed to come out and speak. And I think it was good that he was allowed to do that. Good that he chose to do that, because I think you just have question marks over him forever. But now, hopefully, after he's conducted this rehab and opened up and sought professional help for his problems, he can have an impact now. I don't want to talk too much about what he'd been through. I think you've all seen the interview. You all know what it's about. Very difficult and challenging circumstances. But in terms of as a footballer, did Tottenham know anything about what was going on with him? And should they have disclosed it? And so did Everton basically sign a player that they shouldn't have signed because of mitigating factors? I don't know. I'm sure the legal team at Everton will be looking at these sorts of things. But more importantly, we need to see Dele Alli in a good space. And I think in terms of what he could offer on the pitch, he would absolutely suit Sean Dyche's system, playing as one of the dual eights or as a number 10 behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin, joining in, making late runs. I think on paper it would be perfect. But, we're talking about a player that hasn't been there for 3 or 4 years. And if he could reach 75% of the levels previously, you're talking about a player who would, be excellent for us and completely suit the system. But there's so many factors here at play. We owe Tottenham 10 million if he makes 7 more appearances. I don't think we've got that kind of money. He's also on over £100,000 a week, so he's on a high wage. I think that'll come into it. So if the wages were lower and Spurs could renegotiate with us, I would absolutely give him a chance. I think Tottenham should try and renegotiate with us, and say, look, if he does this and this, then you pay us the money. But give him a little bit more of a chance, because there's so many mitigating circumstances there. We can't really take a risk on giving him a full season. 5 million wages, 7 appearances, and then we have to pay 10 mil. It could be 15 million outlay on this player, where we have no way of knowing whether he's going to actually be able to cut it anymore. Spurs have got to sit down with us and come up with some sort of amicable thing, because even if we sold him now and let him go, say on a free transfer, Tottenham would get nothing. So Tottenham surely should sit down and work with Everton to try and get something off us. And also with the players, best interests in mind, to give him a chance of succeeding next season, because I don't know where he could possibly go as well. That would also, have an impact. But I'd love to see him succeed at Everton. So let me know what you think about Dele Alli and Anthony Elanga. I'm just going to see what also is on the agenda in this stream. We were linked with Johnny Evans, but that was just an absolute troll's Twitter rumor, and it got passed around. Not true at all. No chance for Johnny Evans. Just going to look at my notes, if that's okay. We talked about Young. We talked about Dele Alli. We talked about Elanga and Danjuma. Have I missed anything? Apparently, we've offered Mason Holgate to Besiktas. We've got a good relationship with Besiktas. I wonder whether that could come off. And also, I think we've offered him to Southampton. I think there were some talks. He's been told he can go. He's not part of the plans. We still have 5 central defenders at the club: Michael Keane, James Tarkowski, Jared Branthwaite, Ben Godfrey, and Mason Holgate. I don't see Holgate anywhere near that list. He's absolutely pointless. Get rid. He must have some sort of value. If he was a Man City player with the same quality, they'd probably get 15 million for him. Knowing us, we'll be paying someone to take him. Other news: Everton have made a bid for El Bilal Toure. Of course, we covered this on a previous stream. I think he plays in Spain for Almeria. This guy's a really, really exciting talent. Very dynamic player. We've got a lot of pace, strength. I think he's got everything about him. And the reports are that Everton have bid over 30 million for Toure. This is from a trusted source. I don't know if it's a trusted source, actually. Paco Gregorio. Again, that could be a made-up name. saying that Everton have bid over 30 million for him. Euros, 30 million euros, but there's no agreement. I I hope we actually sit down with these clubs and say, what do you want for this player? What do you actually want for us to get the deal done? Because I feel like we waste so much time fanning around over players we've got no intentions of signing or no hope of signing. Just what will it take to get El Bilal Toure done? I'm assuming the 30 million euros would be enough. If it was maybe like 30 million up front in cash, but you know, in us, we're playing like we'll give you £5 a month for the next 5,000 months, and then one-off payment of, you know what I'm trying to say. These installments plans aren't that attractive, but then he's not exactly playing for a big club. I think they could be excited for the money. I think the player is at 21, so he's a good age to come in with a medium risk. And, you know, if he does really well, you could be looking at a 50, 60 million pound player after one season. That's how easy it is to do that. Could we make an offer and give him a longer contract and try and amortize his fee over a longer period like Chelsea have been doing, but also have some sort of exit clause, maybe a buyout clause, or, you know, something to help protect both parties there in the event it doesn't go very well. So that's El Bilal Toure. I'd really hope that he can get that done. Everton Stadium, they're still looking for people to register for the All One. I think it's Dock on One actually at the moment. The number of restaurants and stuff you can apply for, there's still some space. And I'm not quite sure. I think we're playing today, aren't we? Have we got a pre-season game today? We've got a pre-season game today. I forgot, at 5 o'clock. Everton versus Stade Lyonnais. We're paying. You can pay £8.99 to watch that on the official Everton website. Yeah, that's. To be honest with you, I've kind of not been paying too much attention to the fixture because I thought, you know, it's a complete waste of time. We haven't got anyone available. So, what is the starting 11 now? What would I do? I would chuck in. Well, if Pickford's there, Pickford. Right back, Nathan Patterson. The team picks itself. We haven't got anyone. Nathan Patterson. Yeah, because Coleman's still injured. Right back, Patterson. Centre back, Tarkowski. The other centre back's got to be Ben Godfrey. I really can't be arsed with Michael Keane. Please, for the love of God, don't do it to me. And I can't stand Ben Godfrey either. But Branthwaite's still away. We desperately need centre back. Left back, I'm going for Ashley Young. I don't care if he's only played for 5 minutes. Just get him on the pitch with the same players. Probably keep Mike Elenko out of the team next season. Into midfield, Garner. That's Garner Gay. James Garner's still out. Andre Gomez. Give Andre Gomez a go in midfield. Why not? Let's see what he can do. And then Doucouré. He's not going to leave Onana out, is he? They're all going to get half on the pitch anyway, so it's all irrelevant. But we're going to see Onana, we're going to see Doucouré, we're going to see Lewis Washington, I'm sure, coming on. We're going to have Darren Griffiths giving commentary. We're going to have Graham Stewart saying, you know, I remember watching the preseason games last season. We didn't score a goal. We were bloody awful, and we knew what was coming in the season the whole time. We were sleepwalking into the season, and the commentator, God knows what the commentators must have been thinking watching it, because we had no threat whatsoever. I think we only scored, we played Blackburn away maybe in a preseason friendly, and Dele Alli scored 3 goals, a hat trick, and then got sold a week later, loaned a week later. But yeah, we're going to see Gomez, Lewis Washington, Gabamin's still injured, so he's not there. So be interesting to see how Andre Gomez gets on. I mean, it's all about fitness. I mean, they're probably like not even a National League team. Out wide, the only options Alex Iwobi and Dwight McNeil. Have we got anyone else who's going to play on the wing? Stanley Mills will probably get a few minutes as well tonight. And Calvert-Lewin up front. I mean, he'll probably get injured after 10 minutes. Break a testicle or something. He's... and Neil Mopey, of course, and Tom Cannon. Just chuck Tom Cannon on. Go 4-4-2 and give Tom Cannon a game. Let's see how good he is. Let's see if he can... Let's see him, because I'm reading that team out and thinking defense is awful. Centre halves, full backs. Midfield's got no quality. It's a really poor team. But if I had to pick my best 11 right now for that game, which means absolutely nothing, it's Pickford, Young, Tarkovsky, Godfrey, but it'll be Keane, Patterson, Onana, Garner, Decore, McNeil, Iwobi, Calvert-Lewin. We've had good times. We've had good times. So that's it at 5 o'clock. If you're a member of Everton membership, you can actually watch it for free. And of course, if you're season ticket holder, I think you can watch it for free as well. I'm sure you'll be able to find some sort of stream to watch that game on if you really want. Credit to all the fans who've actually gone over there to watch that, really. I know it's a big day out, but they've gone on a coach to go and watch Everton in Nyon play, like the equivalent of a National League South team. And yeah, in the old days, we'd win this 22-0, but I've got a feeling it'll be tight because we couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo. Just seeing if there's anything else to talk about. Emma's saying, can't believe they want us to pay and see. I agree. I think it should be free. I think it's scandalous that they could even dare ask anyone to pay to see that. Yeah, Peter's saying he'd rather have the Dutch lad from Swansea because he sounds like more of a goal scorer. Joel Perot, I mean, I don't think there's actually any sort of confirmed link with that guy, but apparently he's good. He's quite tenacious. He's a lot better than Ellis Sims. Kevin saying Everton versus Stade Lyonnais. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, there was an interview with Frank Lampard. He was talking about his time at Chelsea and Everton. It was with Stephen Bartlett, but he didn't actually mention Everton once, so don't sit through it. It's a waste of time. I think it was just a passing comment, like you left Everton and then went to. He didn't actually get into any detail about what happened. Maybe he signed an NDA. Hi, Kevin. I think we've covered pretty much everything. I'm just trying to look through to see if I've missed something. Yeah, there's not a lot else. I think we've been linked with someone, an Italian centre back at Juventus. Everton and Lille are interested in De Winter. Never heard of him. Get him in. Apparently, AC Milan are interested in Dan Juma as well. So that's just that's probably a start of the race. Can't compete with them at the moment. He's going to do it again to us, isn't he? He's going to pie us off. Yeah. I think I've covered everything, guys. We talked about the Dele Alli interview, Ashley Young signing, and the links to the new players. I'll be back to react. I probably will do a match reaction for this Stade Neos game and see if there's anything we can take from it. But yeah, I think we know what to expect really with these players. We've seen them all before. We don't like them. There's nothing enjoyable about this group. There's a couple of them that cheer you up, maybe Dwight McNeil and his tenacity, but generally there's nothing exciting. And until we get some players in, I think that will be absent. I mean, I said yesterday that I'd love Everton. I'd actually start to feel excited for the season again if we brought someone like, if this was our window, Dan Juma, Elanga, Gnonto, and El Bilal Toure. Because I think we could just sit back and then just counterattack people with rapid pace and press relentlessly. I think that could be exciting. But I'd be surprised if we got more than two of them. I'd be surprised if we got one of them at this rate. But yeah, I'm going to let you go. Stu's going with a 4-0 win. What is your predictions? Let me know what you think. Stu's saying 4-0. Let's have a look. Stade Nyon. They are an association football club based in the time of Nyon, the second tier of Swiss football. They've got 860 seats. but they're over 100 years of history. Probably lose to them. 1-0. Nicky saying 1-0. Emma's saying 1-0. The Blues 3-1 win. The Swiss second division, I'd probably say, is like the equivalent of, it must be like lower than League Two, surely. Yeah, Kevin, they would be nice. Very funny. Right, guys. We could do a watch along, but I don't know how that could work. Because we'd all technically be on the same stream, wouldn't we? What do people think about the idea of that? Watch along. Mark saying 5-0. This is a good one from Damien. 2-0 to Mayonnaise. Peter saying 10-0 to start. Can I be honest and say something? You can crop this, do what you want. I wouldn't mind if we lost. I wouldn't mind if we lost, because at the moment we are probably sleepwalking into the season. Sleepwalking into the season with no genuine signings that are going to massively improve us. And we need a complete reality check of where we are with this group. If we think we're going to go into the season with 14 first-team players or something like that, and suddenly transforming the Dice to be this really good attacking goal-scoring team that can still defend, please, let's not kid ourselves. If we lose this game, I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't, we wouldn't overreact, but I hope these are the sorts of things that they need a kick up the backside to get a move on. But at the same time, of course, the Blues, it would be lovely to see Everton score some goals and win, quite a few goals to nil. Controversial, of course. Johnny Evans coming from that. No, it was a complete made up account coming up with that rumor. Someone's retweeted it and it's got over 180,000 views. We've never been interested in Johnny Evans this summer. There's just no way. I know we're a retirement home, as Mark's put it, but that would be a new low even for us. Okay. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Make sure you like now and, of course, subscribe if you're new here. And I'll be back possibly with a match reaction for the game later, and if we can take anything from it. Goodbye.